Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River for the 83rd annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, and I will be your play-by-play announcer for this game. It has been a long day here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium in the NBC World Series, as our first game went 3.5 hours, 17 innings. That put us a little bit behind. Our second game started scheduled for 4 o'clock, started about 5:20 p.m. And then our third game, the Kansas Stars, were the feature game, and I believe that game didn't get started until shortly after 8 o'clock. This game will feature the visiting team, the Derby, Kansas Twins, versus the home team, the defending champions, the Santa Barbara, California Foresters. The Foresters were the 2016 NBC World Series champions. We'll talk about the Foresters here in just a second, but we're going to go ahead and give you the starting lineups for today's game. Today is Pool A and Pool C play. Tomorrow we will have Pool B and Pool D. We have some games that have already been played, but we're going to go ahead and give you the starting lineups first. First of all, leading off for the Derby Twins will be right fielder number 7, Brett Fear. Batting second, the center fielder will be number 3, Noah Bland. Batting third and DH will be number 12, Anthony Dominguez. Batting fourth and playing first base will be number 8, Colin Neville. Batting fifth and playing second base will be number 13, Greg Sines. Batting sixth and playing left field will be number 1, Bobby Morganson. Batting seventh and playing third base, number 15, Tyler Myers. Batting eighth and catching will be number 11, Lane Borland. Batting ninth and playing shortstop will be number 4, Connor Bossler. And pitching for the Derby Twins will be number 32, Sam Sauerbauer. Sauerbauer on the mound for the Twins. Manager for the Twins is Jeff Wells. Coaching staff is Ken Jarrett and Tyler Hanklins. And now here's the starting lineup for the defending champions, the Santa Barbara, California Foresters. Leading off and playing right field will be number 8, Austin Todd. Batting second and playing second base will be number 4, Hank Lefort. Batting third and playing first base will be number 30, Josh Young. Batting fourth and playing left field will be number 25, Luke Ritter. Batting fifth and DHing will be number 7, Zach Humphreys. Batting sixth and playing third base will be number 16, Spencer Steer. Batting seventh and playing shortstop will be number 2, Jimmy Galuski. Batting eighth and catching will be number 11, Stephen Cole. Batting ninth and playing center field will be number 23, Joey Fisk. And pitching for the Santa Barbara, California Foresters, number 34, Evan Lee. Coaching staff for the Santa Barbara, California Foresters, Bill Pintard, Steve Shuck, Skylar Ellis, Dylan Axelrod, and Jordan Stoppel. Our umpires for today's game at home plate will be Doug McClure. At first base will be Sasha Sanguinetti. And at third base will be Greg Mudd. Once again, we said the Santa Barbara, California Foresters are the defending champions. They are a 6-time NBC champions. They have made 7 finals and have won 6 different times. They were champions in 2016, 2014, 2012, 2011, 2008, and 2006. And they were runners-up in 2005 when they lost to the Perry Gravel team in 2005. So 6-time champions by the Santa Barbara, California Foresters. That is the record for the most champions. They are tied with Fairbanks, Alaska Go Panners. Right behind them with 5 championships is the Liberal Kansas BJs. Also tied at 5 is the Anchorage, Alaska Glacier Pilots. And then after that, with 4 championships, is the Boulder, Colorado Collegians. And with 3, we have the El Dorado, Kansas Broncos, along with the Fort Wayne, Indiana GE Club. High-Name, Alaska, the Oilers, and the Wichita, Kansas Boeing Bombers, along with the Wichita, Kansas Dreamliners, with 3 victories. All right, we're ready to play ball here in Wichita, Kansas. It's 11:43 Central Time. Temperature is 75 degrees here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And leading off for the Derby Twins will be the right fielder, number 7, Brett Fear. This is the first time batting for any of these teams since it's the first game here in championship week. And the first pitch is called a ball. Pitching for Santa Barbara Forsters is Evan Lee. Swinging strike 1. Count goes to 1-1 now. Evan Lee is a left-hander. $185-pounder, 6'1". Went to Arkansas College. And foul ball. Count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Brett Fear. Once again, this is the 4th and final game here this evening. And it's called strike 3 to Brett Fear. Goes down, looking. So Evan Lee records his first strikeout of the evening. Now batting for the Derby Twins is the center fielder, number 3, Noah Bland. In the first game today, it was a San Diego, California Force versus the Colorado Sox, and that game went 17 innings. I just happened to be the PA announcer for that game, and it put us behind. The final score was San Diego 3 and the Colorado Sox 0. There's a triple by Noah Bland. Ball was hit down the left field line. So Bland records his first hit of the game. And I believe that's about the 33rd triple of the tournament. We'll check those stats here in a little bit. Now batting, the designated hitter, number 12, Anthony Dominguez. Swinging a foul ball. Count goes no balls and 1 strike now. With 1 out and a runner at third base, Noah Bland just hit a triple down the left field line. Dominguez, his hometown is Fort Worth, Texas. He is a 5'10", 200-pounder from Abilene Christian. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. They got 1-1 up on the board, so I may be incorrect on that. Umpire was trying to correct this scoreboard. It is 2 balls and 1 strike now to Anthony Dominguez. And here's the pitch by Lee. Right down the first base side. Nice stop there by first baseman Josh Young, and a run scores. Noah Bland scores from third base on a hit to the right side to Josh Young, making that stop, and the out brings up the designated hitter. Correction, the first baseman, number 8, Colin Neville. So the score is 1-0 here in the top half of the first inning as the Derby Twins score first. First pitch was the ball, 1-0 the count now. Here's Lee's pitch, a swinging strike. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Now 2 outs in the top half of the second inning. The score, the Derby Twins 1 and the Santa Barbara, California Foresters 0. And there's a foul ball back into the crowd. Souvenir there for a young man. So the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Colin Neville. Colin Neville is from Goddard, Kansas. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. Goes to Central Missouri University. And there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So that's the end of the top half of the first inning with the score of the Derby Twins 1 and the Santa Barbara, California Foresters coming to bat. We'll be right back.
Mom, we're gonna be late.
I know.
And we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. You're watching the Derby Twins from Kansas versus the defending champions of Santa Barbara, California Foresters. We're just getting ready to get started in the bottom half of the first inning. Coming up to bat for the Santa Barbara Foresters will be the right fielder, number 3, Austin Todd. Pitching for the Derby Twins, it's Sam Sauerbauer. He's a left-hander. Hometown is Sharpsburg, Georgia. He's a 6', 155-pounder from a sophomore out of Columbus State. So Austin Todd up there now for the Foresters. Facing Sauerbauer here in the bottom half of the first inning. The score 1-0 in favor of Derby. And here's the pitch by Sauerbauer. Called strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 the count now to Austin Todd. Just get underway in the bottom half of the first. And there's a fly ball along the right-hand side. First baseman goes to his left. Gets under it. That's Colin Neville with the catch for out number 1. That brings up the second baseman, number 4, Hank Lefort. Lefort, his hometown is Elk Grove, California. He is a 5'6", 165-pounder from Cal State Fullerton. Attempted a bunt, goes foul. So the count goes no balls and 1 strike now with 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. Once again, our other games here today. The second game was between Everett Merchants and the Liberal BJs. That final score was Everett Merchants 5 and the Liberal BJs 4. And the game that just concluded was the Kansas Stars And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Final score was Kansas Stars 3 and Colorado 2. Colorado was up 1-0 going into the top half of the ninth inning, and the Stars were the visiting team. They scored 3 runs in the top half of the ninth inning and were able to hold off the Colorado. Cyclones, the Colorado Cyclones, ball hit up the middle. Shortstop makes an attempt. We're going to have a hit there by Hank Lefort. Going for 2, hustling Hank Lefort, and he's going to be in there safely. Well, the Derby Twins didn't get the ball in very quick, and Lefort took advantage of it. Aggressive baseball there by the Santa Barbara, California Foresters and Hank Lefort. That brings up the first baseman, number 30, Josh Young. Young is hometown is San Antonio, Texas. He's 6'2", 215 pounders. Went to Texas Tech University. And the first pitch is a strike. 0-1 the count now. Runner at second base, all by that double by Lefort. With 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side. Count goes no balls and 2 strikes. The Derby Twins scored in the top half of the first inning when Noah Bland hit a triple right down the line, left field line, and scored on a shot along the first base side that Josh Young knocked down and was able to get up on his feet to make the out. But the run scored from third base. There's a fly ball to right field. Not going is Lefort. So that catch made by Brett Fair in right field for out number 2. Now batting the left fielder, number 25, Luke Ritter. Ritter's hometown is Overland Park, Kansas. He's a 6', 190 pounder. Goes to Wichita State University. And here's Sarah Brower's first pitch is a ball 1. 1-0 the count now to Ritter. And we're going to have a throw back to second base. Ball goes into center field. And I'm sure Lefort will be heading down to third. And the ball is bobbled there by the center fielder, Noah Bland. So Hank Lefort makes it to third base easily, even though he does slide to third base. Count is still 1 ball and no strikes. It will be an error on the throw. Charge to Sarah Brower. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes now to Luke Ritter. And the ball hits the shortstop. Bossler goes to first to Neville for out number 3. So low threat there by the Foresters, but they were able to keep them at the third base, and that's into the first inning. It is the Derby Twins 1 and the Foresters 0. We'll be right back.
For every celebration, for every 6 a.m. wake-up call, for every heartache, for every homecoming, for every home, there is York. Environmentally responsible and technologically advanced to provide the optimal home environment while keeping you connected. Life by You, comfort by York.
And we welcome you back for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, the play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. We're in the top half of the second inning as the Derby Twins are up on the Santa Barbara, California Foresters 1-0. Leading off for the Twins will be second baseman number 13, Greg Sines. Sines' hometown is Phoenix, Arizona. He hits a deep fly ball into right field. There making a catch was Austin Todd for out number 1. Now batting the left fielder number 1, Bobby Morganson. Morgan's hometown is Omaha, Nebraska. He's a 6'4", 220-pounder. He's a sophomore at Hutchinson Community College. 0-1 the count. Here's the pitch by Lee. And they call strike 2 now. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out as Greg Sines flew out to a right fielder, Austin Todd, for the first out. Ball is low. Well, the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Almost midnight here in Wichita, Kansas. Temperature 75 degrees. Foul ball there by number 1, Morganson. So the count stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes to Morganson. Here's the pitch by Lee. Swing and miss for strike number 3. So we got 2 down here in the top half of the second inning as Morganson goes down swinging. That is the 3rd strikeout by Evan Lee. Brings up the third baseman, number 15, Tyler Myers. Myers is listed as a pitcher. He's from Houston, Texas, 6'1", 190 pounds. He goes to Paris Community College as a sophomore. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike now here in the top half of the second inning for the Derby Twins. And they are up 1-0 over the Santa Barbara, California Foresters. And there's Lee's pitch, a foul ball. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs now in the top half of the second inning. The umpire is Doug McClure behind home plate. There's a ball hit into right field. Looks like it's going to fall in. Right in front of Austin Todd there. 1 bounce and he gets it. So Myers records his first hit of the game. So now batting will be the catcher number 11, Lane Borland. Borland's hometown is Abilene, Texas. 6'1", 170-pounder from Abilene Christian. He's a sophomore. And there's the first pitch by Lee to Borland. It's called ball 1. Want to know the count now to Borland. Runner at first base with 2 outs. Called strike 1. 1-1 the count now. And here's a pitch by Evan Lee. Missed low inside. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strikes now, with Tyler Myers on at first base, just getting a base hit to right field. Ball is low. 3-1 now the count to Lane Borland. We don't have any other stats for these players since this is their first game in the World Series, but we'll get some as we go along. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side into the crowd. Goes off the sky boxes and back onto the field. Full count now. And a swing and miss, strike three for out number three as Borland goes down swinging. So the top half of the second inning for the Derby Twins, they scored no runs. At the end of 1.5 as Derby Twins won and the Santa Barbara Forster 0. We'll be right back.
1, 2, 3, 35, 36, 37, 58, 59, 60.
And we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by West Star Energy. Once again, this is Frank Martinez, and I'm your play-by-play announcer for tonight's game. We hope you enjoy the telecast between the Derby, Kansas Twins and the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. Leading off bottom half of the second inning, designated hitter number 7, Zach Humphreys, for the Forsters. First pitch by Sauerbauer goes outside, so the count goes 1 ball, no strikes now to Humphreys. Second pitch is high, 2-0 now the count. Humphreys' hometown is Middleton, Texas. He's 5'10", 190 pounder. Sophomore from TCU. Ball hit into center field. There to make the catch is Noah Bland for out number 1. Now batting for the Foresters will be the third baseman, number 16, Spencer Steer. Steer's hometown is Long Beach, California. He's a 5'11", 185 pounder. Sophomore out of Oregon. Getting his first action here in the World Series. Ball hit up the middle, and Spencer Steer didn't take no time to get his first hit here in the 2017 NBC World Series. So he hits that ball up the middle. That brings up the shortstop, number 2, Jimmy Galuski. With a runner at first base, that's Spencer Steer, just getting the base hit, and 1 out. Bottom half of the second inning. And the score, the Derby Twins 1 and the Santa Barbara Forsters 0. There's Sauerbauer's pitch is called strike 1. No balls and 1 strike now to Galuski. And a hard hit ball past the diving third baseman, Tyler Myers. And hustling there by Spencer Steer goes to third base. And on that throw, Galuski goes to second base. So great base running there by the Santa Barbara Forsters. As Galuski records his first hit of the game. That brings up the catcher number 11, Stephen Cole. We have Steer at third base and Galuski at second base on that base hit, with 1 out here in the bottom half of the second inning for Santa Barbara. Sauerbauer's pitch is outside and high for ball 1. Stephen Cole, hometown is Valley Center, California. He's a 6 foot, 175 pounders. Senior out of UC San Diego. All right, the count is 2-0 now to Cole. And here's Sarah Brower's pitch on the outside corner. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Gluski at second base and Steer at third with 1 out. And a ball hit into center field. Coming in is Noah Bland. It falls in front of him. So scoring from third base will be Spencer Steer. Ball gets into the infield and gets away, but the pitcher, correction, the first baseman there to recover the ball. So Cole records his first hit of the game and an RBI. That's going to bring for the Forsters the center fielder, number 23, Joe Fisk. The score now tied up at 1 apiece here in the bottom half of the second inning. As the Derby Twins scored 1 run in the top half of the first, and now the Forsters score 1 run in the bottom half of the second inning to tie it up. Joey Fisk hits the ball right up the middle. So another run scores. Galuski scores from third base. And Stephen Cole goes to second on the base hit by Joey Fisk, who also gets an RBI. So now batting will be the right fielder, number 8, Austin Todd for Santa Barbara. He flied out to first baseman in the bottom half of the first inning. So the score now, the Forsters 2 and the Derby Twins 1. First pitch is the ball, 1-0 the count now to Austin Todd. Our Bauer's pitch is inside corner, called strike 1 there by Doug McClure, the home plate umpire. 1-1 the count now to Austin Todd. There's a pitch low, hit in front of the plate. Nice job there by the catcher, Lane Borland. Make that stop. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike now to the right fielder, number 8, Austin Todd. We only have 1 out here now. As it was bobbled by the shortstop, was able to get the force out at second base, but not able to turn the double play. On that play, Stephen Cole goes to third base. So Austin Todd will get a fielder's choice. That brings up the second baseman, number 4, Hank Lefort. Lefort got a double the first inning, but was stranded at third base as Luke Ritter made the third out, and he grounded out to the shortstop. Josh Young flew out to right field, but wasn't deep enough to score Lefort. And then Ritter grounded out to short. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes now to Hank Lefort here in the bottom half of the second inning, as the Santa Barbara Forsters have taken a 2-1 lead now. Sauerbauer's pitch just misses inside. Boy, he thought he had that one. The first baseman also kind of started walking off. But the count goes to 1-2. Runners at first and third now with 2 outs. Bottom half of the second inning. Sauerbauer's ball hit to the third baseman, hustles in. Third baseman makes the throw to Tyler Myers to first, but is safe. And on that, Stephen Cole scores from third base, and then Austin Todd was thrown out at third base. Boy, I tell you what, the Forsters are very aggressive. But Lefort records his second hit of the game. At the end of 2, it is the Forsters 3 and the Derby Twins 1. We'll be right back.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
And we welcome back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer, as we get ready to start the top half of the third inning. And leading off for the Derby Twins, it's shortstop number 4, Connor Bossler. The score is Santa Barbara Foresters 3 and the Derby Twins 1. Bossler flies out to center fielder. Making the catch is Joey Fisk for out number 1. Now batting the right fielder number 7, Brett Fear. Fear struck out in the first inning to start off the ball game. Squares around and pulls back. So 0-1 now the count to Brett Fear. Count goes to 2-0 now by Evan Lee to Brett Fear in the top half of this third inning. And there's a swing and a hit to the left side. There to make the catch, number 25, Luke Ritter, for out number 2. That was a hard hit ball there by Fear, but there waiting for it was Luke Ritter. Now batting for the Twins, the center fielder number 3, Noah Bland. Bland hit a triple. Then scored as Dominguez hit a hard shot to the first baseman, Josh Young. Young was able to knock it down and make the second out, but to score a run, Bland scored from third base on the play in the first inning. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. And here's Lee's pitch, called strike 2. 0-2 the count now here in the top half of the third inning with 2 outs. Both teams really hitting the ball hard here today. And there's a ball hit over the pitcher's mound. At second baseman making a nice play there was Hank Lefort. Over to Josh Young for out number 3. At the end of the top half of the third inning, no runs for the Derby Twins, and the score, the Foresters 3 and the Twins 1. We'll be right back.
Davis Moore is proud to support our local schools and teachers through organizations like Project Teacher that provide free school supplies to students in the greater Wichita area. Through the month of July, we're collecting school supplies like pencils, crayons, glue sticks, markers, and paper. Stop by any of our dealerships with your donation so that together we can help get supplies into the hands of children in our schools. From all of us at Davis Moore, thank you for your continued support to help our community.
All right, fans, we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. You're listening and watching Derby Kansas Twins versus the defending champions of Santa Barbara, California Foresters. The score as we head down to the bottom half of the third inning, of the Foresters 3 and the Twins 1. Leading off for the Foresters will be first baseman number 30, Josh Young. First pitch is called ball 1. 1-0 the count now to Young. Young flew out to right field in the first inning. Deep fly ball, but there to make the catch for the Twins was number 7, Brett Zafir, for out number 2 in the first inning. Count goes 3-0 quickly to Josh Young. And call strike 1 there. 3-1 now the count to Young. Ball 4 goes to Josh Young, so he's going to take a walk to first base. So Young reaches bases for the first time in this game. That brings up the left fielder, number 25, Luke Ritter. Ritter made the third out in the top half of the first, or bottom half of the first inning, as he grounded down to shortstop. Ball gets away from the catcher, Borland, and Young goes to second base on the pass ball there. And here's a pitch by Sauerbauer. Low for ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Skin Ritter is 0 for 1 in this ball game. Call strike 1 there. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now no outs. Runner at second base. On a walk and in a wild pitch, or a pass ball correction. Another wild pitch there this time. Goes in to the stand, so the Josh Young will end up at third base. Young heads to third base. And the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike there to Luke Ritter with no outs. And call strike 2 now. 3-2 the count. And a swinging strike 3 there by Luke Ritter. Nice job there by Sauerbauer. Record a strikeout for out number 1. Now batting for the Foresters, the designated hitter, number 7, Zach Humphreys. Humphreys is 0 for 1. He flew out to center field in the second inning. Top half started off the second inning with a fly out. Count goes to 1-0 now to Humphreys. Runner at third base with 1 out now. Second pitch is a ball. 2-0 now the count. And there's a swing and a miss there by Humphreys. Sauerbauer so far has pitched 2 1/3 innings. He's faced 13 batters, had 6 hits, 3 runs scored against him, 3 earned runs, 1 base on balls, and 1 strikeout. And that is a ball. So the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strikes now to Humphreys. And it's a foul ball. So the count goes full now, 3-2. With Josh Young at third base and 1 out here in the bottom half of the third inning. With the score, the Foresters 3 and the Derby Twins 1. And there's a pitch inside, missing. So Humphreys will take the base on a walk. And that brings up the third baseman, number 16, Spencer Steer. Steer is 1 for 1 here in the ball game as he got a base hit in the bottom half of the second inning. And also scored a run. Fly ball to right field. This should be deep enough to score Josh Young. Looks like he caught the ball, then dropped the ball. The runner took off. Humphreys took off to second base. They threw him out for out number 3. But the run does score from third base. So now the score is 4-1 in favor of the Foresters. We'll be right back.
It's time to make a muscle and make a difference, Wichita.
Davis Moore has partnered with the MDA for more than 15 years, supporting the Drive to a Cure efforts of curing neuromuscular diseases and improving the quality of life for kids like these.
During the month of August, the Davis Moore Auto Group will proudly donate a portion of this month's sales to MDA. If you'd like to help, come into any one of our Davis Moore locations to make your donation. Help us drive to a cure under the big American flag.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. You're watching and listening to the Derby Twins versus the defending champion Santa Barbara, California Foresters. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer, as we get ready to get started with the 4th inning. Top half of the 4th, batting will be designated hitter number 12, Anthony Dominguez. Anthony Dominguez is 0 for 1 so far. He does have 1 RBI as he had a line shot to the first baseman. He knocked it down, and Noah Bland was at third base. He came in to score on the play. So he does have 1 RBI. Count goes to actually, I'm not exactly sure what the count is. It is 3-0 now. Our scoreboard operator just a little bit slow on the balls and strikes. There's a pitch called strike 1. He had 0 and 0, no balls, no strikes when I looked up. I was looking up the stats here for Dominguez. And Dominguez reaches on a walk here in the top half of the 4th inning. And that brings up the first baseman, number 8, Colin Neville. Neville is 0 for 1. He has 1 strikeout, and that happened. He was the 3rd out in the the top half of the first inning. There's the first pitch there by Evan Lee for ball 1. 1-0 the count now. Evan Lee so far has faced 12 batters. He's pitched 3 innings, has 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 base on balls, and struck out 4. So he did a pretty good job there for the Santa Barbara Foresters. As the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes now to Colin Neville. Top half of the 4th inning. Anthony Dominguez at first base with no outs. Here's a pitch, it's foul back to the net. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike now to Colin Neville. Dominguez taking the lead at first. Lee takes a look, and a swinging fly ball to the shortstop, backs up, goes to his right, makes the catch for out number 1. Now batting for the Derby Twins will be the second baseman, number 13, Greg Sines. Sines is 0 for 1. as he flew out to right field to lead off the top half of the second inning for the Derby Twins. Batting now his second time here in the ball game. Count goes to 1 ball, no strikes. And here's the pitch inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Still at first base is Anthony Dominguez, who started off with a walk in the top half of this fourth inning. Pitch called strike 1. So the count goes 2 balls, 1 strike now with 1 out. Evan Lee's pitch comes, a ball hit to the second baseman. Second baseman Hank Lefort goes for the force out at second and a double play attempt. It's called safe at first base. So Greg Sines is in with a fielder's choice. And that's going to bring up the left fielder number 1, Bobby Morganson. So out at second base was Dominguez on the force from Lefort to Galuski. And there's a foul ball along the left-hand side to Morganson. So the count goes no balls, 1 strike with a runner at first base, and we have 2 outs here in the top half of the fourth inning. The score of the Santa Barbara Foresters 4 and the Derby Twins 1. Derby Twins scored 1 run in the top half of the first inning. The Foresters came back and scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the third inning and scored 1 run also in second inning and 1 run in the bottom half of the third inning. And nice play there by the first baseman Young and covering.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a great day so far, enjoying the not so hot weather here out of the ballpark. This is meteorologist Laura Bannon with your KSN Storm Tracker 3 forecast. You won't be sweating too bad here this evening. Look for temperatures in the middle 80s. It should be a nice quiet night overall. For the drive home, expect quiet skies, temperatures down into the lower 80s. And then as we turn the page and look ahead to tomorrow, a completely different feel. It'll be even cooler. Look for highs in the low 80s. We will be dodging some showers and storms, although it does not look to be a washout. Hope you all have a great night out there and have fun.
And we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer for this game between the Derby, Kansas Twins and the Santa Barbara Foresters. Bottom half of the fourth inning for the Foresters. Leading off will be the shortstop, number 2, Jimmy Galuski. Galuski has 1 hit. He is 1 for 1 with 1 run scored. So Galuski batting 1,000 here. There's a hit to the shortstop. Bossler goes to Neville at first base for out number 1. That brings up the catcher, number 11, Stephen Cole. Cole is 1 for 1, has scored a run and has an RBI. Batting 1,000 now for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And there's the pitch by Sauerbauer, outside for ball 1. To Stephen Cole, the catcher for the Santa Barbara Foresters. There's a pitch. Count goes to 1-1 now, with 1 out and nobody on base here in the bottom half of the fourth. Sarah Bowers looks like it's going to be called strike. So the count goes to 1 ball, 1 and 2 strikes now to Stephen Cole. And there's a foul ball along the right-hand side. Another souvenir for a fan. So the count stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch down low. 2-2 now the count. To Stephen Cole. Pitch just misses low there by Sauerbauer. He thought that was at the knees. Made a quick turnaround. Asked to say something, but count goes full now. And there's a hard hit ball along between the third baseman and the shortstop out into left field. So Stephen Cole records his second hit of the game. Start off this World Series. Now batting the center fielder, number 23, Joey Fisk. Fisk got a base hit in the second inning. He is 1 for 1 with 1 RBI, and the ball gets away from the catcher. So going to second base, Stephen Cole. One ball, no strikes now to Joey Fisk. With the runner at second base, that's Stephen Cole. With 1 out. Sauerbauer steps off. Gets Stephen Cole to hit back to second base. And here comes the pitch. And a check swing goes towards the third base coaching staff. So the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now to Joey Fisk here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pitch stays high there for Sauerbauer. So Fisk count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Stephen Cole advanced to second base on a wild pitch. And the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Sauerbauer's pitch. Swing and called foul ball. They are going to call it a foul ball. Catcher thought that he hung on to the ball, but the umpires saying that must have hit the ground. So still in there is Joey Fisk with a 2-2 count. And 1 out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pitch down low. Count goes full now to Joey Fisk. Almost 12:40 here in Wichita, Kansas. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side, going to get into the stands. Another souvenir for a fan. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. with one out. And a foul ball. So the count stays full. And here comes Sauerbauer's pitch. And a fly ball into center field. That's Noah Bland making the catch. For out number 2. Nice job there by the center fielder, number 3, Noah Bland, to make that catch. That's going to bring up for the Foresters leadoff hitter, the right fielder, number 8, Austin Todd. Austin Todd is 0 for 2 here in the ball game, as he flied out to the first baseman and then got a fielder's choice. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side. So the count goes no balls and 1 strike. Again, Austin Todd. With Stephen Cooke standing at second base. Reached second base on a wild pitch by Sauerbauer. And we have 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now to Austin Todd. As the Santa Barbara Foresters are up 4-1 against the Derby Twins in their first game of pool play here in the NBC World Series. 2-1 now the count, 2 balls, 1 strike, with a runner at second base and 2 outs. And a swing and a miss. And looks like Stephen Cooke goes down. Not exactly sure what happened, but they threw to the shortstop, and he tags the runner out as he just stays on the ground. Must have twisted an ankle or something, and so Stephen Cooke is out for out number 3. At the end of 4, it is the Foresters 4 and the Twins 1. We'll be right back.
Mount up, take off, and chase the sun. Experience more of what makes Kansas great. And let K-Tag help you get there. 236 miles of road, endless destinations of wonder. Start your adventure with K-Tag. Get your free K-Tag at myktag.com.
Well, we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium here in Wichita, Kansas for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. Powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. Well, Stephen Cooke went down. He was at second base. He is the catcher, and he is back out there, so it looks like he is okay. So that's good to see for the Foresters. Now batting the top half of the 5th inning for the Derby Twins. Third baseman, number 15, Tyler Myers. And the first pitch is ball 1 to Myers. Myers is 1 for 1 here in the ball game and in the series. He started off the second inning with his first hit, as he was the third batter in that second inning. So the count goes 2 balls, 1 strike to Tyler Myers. Here's the pitch by Evan Lee. Count goes 3-1 now. Top half of the 5th inning. Forster's 4 and the Derby Twins 1. There's a ball hit along the right-hand side. Austin Todd gets over. Looks like it is going to be a fair ball, or correction, it's caught by Austin Todd for out number 1. Now batting, the catcher number 11, Lane Borland. Borland struck out his first time in the second inning as he made the 3rd out for the Derby Twins. So Borland is 0 for 1 with 1 strikeout so far. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike now with 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning for the Derby Twins. 1-2 now the count. And Evan Lee's pitch is called strike 3 there by home plate umpire Doug McClure for out number 2. And that's second time Borland goes down. That brings up the shortstop, number 4, Connor Bossler. Bossler lays down a bunt. Pitcher Evan Lee goes to first for out number 3. So at the end of 4.5 innings of play, it is the Forsters 4 and the Twins 1. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium here in Wichita, Kansas for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. We're going down to the bottom half of the 5th inning. And leading off for the Santa Barbara Forsters will be right fielder number 8, Austin Todd. Todd is 0 for 2 here in the ball game so far. Flew out to the third baseman in the first and got on with a fielder's choice in the second inning. There's a swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now. And there's a pitch up high and away there from Austin Todd. 2-1 now the count with no outs. Bottom half of the 5th inning already. There's a swing and a miss. So the count goes even out, 2-2. The Derby Twins scored 1 run here in the first inning. There's a hard hit ball to the pitcher. Sauerbauer goes to first base for out number 1. Now batting the second baseman number 4, Hank Lefort. Lefort is 2 for 2 here in the ball game with 1 RBI. There's a call, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Pitch hit right back to the pitcher off his leg, and the catcher makes attempts to make the play, but on for another base hit is Hank Lefort. And Sam Sauerbauer throws his mitt down in disgust as that ball hit him right in the knees area, the leg area. He's trying to walk it off as he walks towards second base. Trainers come out saying that he got hit in the left knee area. So we hope Sam Sauerbauer is okay. There is somebody warming up in the Derby Twins bullpen. Umpires now talking to coaching staff for the Derby Twins. Ken Jarrett and Hawklands. Looks like Sauerbauer is going to take a couple extra pitches to home. I think he's going to be all right. So he's going to get back in there for the Derby Twins. We're glad to see that he's okay. Sauerbauer has faced 20 batters, gone 4 1/3 innings, has 8 hits, given up 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, and 2 base on balls with 1 strikeout so far here in the ball game. Once again, Lefort reached on with his 3rd hit of the game. That brings up the first baseman, number 30, Josh Young. First pitch is called strike 1. So Lefort now is 3 for 3 with 1 RBI. 0-1 account now to Josh Young. And Lefort taking a lead, so Sauerbauer throws over to first base. Just lets Lefort know that he knows he's there. Goes back to first base again. Lefort back to the base. No balls, 1 strike now with 1 out and a runner on first base here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. There's a foul ball along the right-hand side. So the count goes no balls and 2 strikes now. The score, the Santa Barbara, California Foresters 4 and the Derby Twins 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Sauerbauer's pitching, and there goes Lefort to second base. Not going to have a throw. Count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. And at second base now is Hank Lefort with a stolen base. Pitch is inside, so the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To Josh Young. Ford not taking much of a lead at second base. Now stepping off is Sauerbauer. With the count 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Young. Up there battling. Ball low. So we're going to have a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out with a runner at second base here. And there's a hard hit foul ball along the right-hand side. So the count stays full. 3-2. Santa Barbara Foresters are trying to add another run here in the bottom half of the 5th inning to get a 4-run cushion. And there goes Lefort, but there's a walk. Ball 4 to Josh Young, so he will be at first base. That's his second consecutive walk here in the ball game to Josh Young. That brings up the left fielder, number 25, Luke Ritter. Ritter is 0 for 2 here in the ball game. He has 1 strikeout. That happened in the 3rd inning. It looks like we're going to have a timeout called by the Derby Twins. So Ritter struck out in the 3rd inning and then grounded out to the shortstop to make the 3rd out in the 1st inning. So looks like we are going to have a pitching change now for the Derby Twins. We'll let you know who it is here as soon as we see his number. Once again, you're watching Derby Twins. And the Santa Barbara, California Foresters. Coming in to pitch for the Derby Twins is number 30, Mason LeClaire. His hometown is Mulvane, Kansas. 6 foot, 170 pounders. UNC Charlotte. He is a junior. Six foot, but 170 pounders. So they're going to take over for Sam Sauerbauer of the Derby Twins. Sauerbauer is done now for the ball game. He ended up facing 21 batters, pitched 4 1/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 3 base on balls, and 1 strikeout. So Sauerbauer is out, and now coming in will be number 30, Mason LeClaire. And he'll be facing the cleanup hitter, left fielder number 25, Luke Ritter. He'll have runners at first and second base with 1 out. Correction, first and third base with 1 out. So we got runners on the corners. And so far, Luke Ritter is 0 for 2 with that 1 strikeout. There's a foul ball. Oh, 1 to count now to Ritter. And LeClaire comes with the second pitch. Ball hit to the third baseman. Runner taken off from third base. Ball hit thrown to second base for the force out. Attempting double play, not, but it's going to be safe at first base. That was Tyler Myers over to the second baseman, Craig Sines, for the force out for out number 2. But a run scores there for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And Ritter gets on with a fielder's choice. Brings up the designated hitter number 7, Zach Humphreys. So now takes the score to the Foresters 5 and the Twins 1. Here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. First pitch is the ball to Humphreys. Humphreys is 0 for 1 here in the ball game with 1 base on balls. He flew out to center field in the 2nd inning. And there goes Ritter, the short, and a nice throw there by the catcher, Lane Borland. And a tag for out number 3. So we'll be right back. And we welcome you back to the Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We're going to the top half of the 6th inning, where the score is the Santa Barbara Foresters 5 and the Derby Twins 1. Now batting for the Twins will be the right fielder, number 7, Britt Fear. And the first pitch is called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Fear. Here in the top half of the 6th inning. There's a foul ball along the third base side. Ball goes into the stands. And another souvenir for a youngster here at the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Ball is low for ball 2. And we did have a pitching change that I forgot to tell you about. Now pitching for Santa Barbara's number 27, Trey Morris. Ball hit to second base, goes to first for out number 1. So that was Lefort to Young for out number 1. Now batting the center fielder, number 3, Noah Bland. Once again, now pitching for the Santa Barbara Foresters is Trey Morris. And I'll try to get you an update on the final count on Evan Lee. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Bland, who is 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Two balls, 1 strike now with 1 out. And there's a hard hit ball to left fielder, and left fielder comes in and goes over his head. And the hustling is Noah Bland is going for another triple, looks like. And he's in with a stand-up triple. That brings up the designated hitter, number 12, Anthony Dominguez. Exactly how Bland started off the ball game in the top half of the first inning as he hit a triple and then was scored by Dominguez, had the RBI as he grounded out to first base on a hard hit ball to first. It's actually going to give an error on the play. So Bland does not get a base hit. So he's 1 for 3. Batting .333 now. Once again, Dominguez is 0 for 1 with 1 RBI and a base on balls. Misplay there by the left fielder. Here to start off the top half of the 6th inning. Luke Ritter coming in and just misplayed that. And he's kind of slipped on the turf in his defense. There's a hard hit ball to the second base, makes a big bounce. Lefort goes to Young for out number 2, but scoring again along the third base from third base is Noah Bland. As the Derby Twins score another run. And Noah Bland has now scored both runs here for the Derby Twins. And 2 RBIs there by for Dominguez. Now batting the first baseman, number 8, Colin Neville, for the Derby Twins. Neville is 0 for 2 with 1 strikeout. Also flew out. He struck out in the first inning and flew out to the shortstop in the 4th inning as he made the second out of the inning. Now goes to 3-0 now to Neville. And Trey Morris comes in with a strike. They still haven't got that change yet for the for Morris. Base hit there by Neville. Off the glove. Brings up the second baseman, number 13, Greg Sines. And looks like head coach Bill Pintart is going to come talk to the pitching staff. The pitcher, Trey Morris. And we're going to take a small break. I'm going to go find out, talk to the official scorer. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. I found out exactly what happened was that was still Evan Ray. Apparently he was wearing number 27, and but they didn't have that down on their rosters. And in their lineup card had number 34 down, and that's what we were announcing. So that was Evan Lee that was still pitching in the ball game, but we do have a new pitcher now, and that is number 17 for Santa Barbara. And there is not a number 17 listed for the Foresters. So we're going to have to try to find out who the new pitcher is for the Santa Barbara Foresters. That's what happens a lot of times in the first games when you don't get updated rosters. It's very frustrating for a play-by-play announcer. Okay, just been told that is Jake Eisler, number 17. He's listed as number 13 on the roster. So Eisler will cross Trey Morris completely out and put down number 17, Jake Eisler. I'll give you the numbers on Evan Ray here in just a second. And once again, my apologies, but when we don't have updated rosters, it makes things very difficult. And there's a base hit to the right field by number 13, Greg Sines. Sines records his first hit of the game. So now batting the left fielder, number 1, Bobby Morganson, coming up. Once again, we have 1 run scored already here in the top half of the 6th inning. And now we have Neville at second base, reached on a base hit. Sines just hit to right field for a base hit. So we have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And a hard swing there by number 1, Bobby Morganson. Morganson comes in batting. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game with 1 strikeout. He also hit a shot along the right-hand side in the bottom half or top half of the 4th inning. As first baseman, Josh Young threw to Evan Ray, covering for out number 3 in the top half of the 4th. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Morganson. Once again, now pitching is Eisler for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. So at the end of 5.5 innings of play, it's the Derby Twins 2 and the Santa Barbara Foresters 5. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. All right, we have the final numbers there for Evan Ray. He pitched 5 2/3 innings, faced 22 batters, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned run, 1 base on balls, and had 5 strikeouts. So nice outing there he was wearing number 27, but it's listed as number 34, Evan Ray. Now batting the designated hitter number 7, Zach Humphreys. here in the bottom half of the 6th inning for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And they are up 5-2 now in the bottom half of the 6th. First pitch is, count goes to 2-0, that is. 3-0 the count now. LeClaire pitching for the Derby Twins. And there's a call, strike 2. Correction, strike 1. Sorry about that, but our ball 4 is the count. So Humphreys takes a walk here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Scoreboard operator not getting the balls and strikes up, making things just a little bit difficult. All right, now batting the third baseman to 16, Spencer Steer. Steer is 1 for 1, has 1 run scored and 1 RBI here in the ball game. First pitch is a ball, 1-0 the count now, with Humphreys at first base, just getting on a base on balls. And he takes a good lead, so LeClaire throws over to first base to Neville, and Humphreys goes by. Still 1-0 the count. And a high ball 2. Inside there to Steer. So we have 2 balls, no strikes with no outs and a runner at first base in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And there's a hard hit ball to left fielder. Bobby Morganson gets under and makes the catch for out number 1. So Humphreys goes back to first base. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Jimmy Galuski. Galuski so far in this ball game is 1 for 2, has scored 1 run. Scored that 1 run in the bottom half of the 2nd inning as he got on base with a base hit. And then in the 4th inning, he grounded out to start it off the 4th inning with a ground out to the shortstop. Ball inside. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes, with Zach Humphreys standing on the base at first base and 1 out. It's kind of thinned out here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium as far as fans, but there's still some faithful here. It is now 1:17 here in Wichita, Kansas. Temperature 74 degrees. We hear tomorrow just forecast off the weather. It's only supposed to be in the low 80s tomorrow, so should be a good day for baseball. There's a swing and a miss now by Galuski, and the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom half of the 2nd inning, of the 6th inning, correction. There's a deep fly ball to the center fielder. Noah Bland gets under it and makes the catch for out number 2. Well, can you tell it's been a long day for this play-by-play announcer? I started off this afternoon at 1:30 and PA'd a game that went 17 innings. Then I had the call for the 2nd game. So it's been a long day here. but we're doing the best we can here at 1:17 a.m. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. Now 2 outs with a runner at first base here again for the Forsters. And there's a pitch low. Nice stop there by the catch, Borland. 1 ball, 1 strike now. With 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 6th. Leclerc throws over to first base, and diving back is Humphreys. Neville with a courtesy tag, but Humphreys had plenty of time. Here's a pitch on the outside corner. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And Leclerc's pitch, foul ball by the batter is Stephen Coe. Stephen Coe is 2 for 2 with 1 run scored and 1 RBI. And there's a foul ball by Coe. One thing about it, Stephen Coe does not get cheated on his swings. He's up there swinging away, making some pretty good contact for the Santa Barbara Forsters. Took a good rip at that one. So the count stays at 1 and 2 now. And missing inside. So the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still a runner at first base with 2 outs. The score, the Forsters 5 and the Twins 2. And he comes, taking off is Humphreys, and there's a foul ball back to the screen. So Humphreys will go back to first base. And the count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Leclerc's pitch. Ball hits the right-hand side. Signs, gets it and throws the first to Neville for out number 3. So another man stranded there for the Forsters at the end of 6. It is the Forsters 5 and the Twins 2. We'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, head to visitwichita.com for all there is to see and do.
And we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series as we get ready to get started with the top half of the 7th inning. The Derby Twins will be batting down 5-2 against the Santa Barbara, California Forsters. Once again, this is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer here for tonight's game. Hope you're enjoying the telecast and the play-by-play. Now batting, the third baseman, number 15, Tyler Myers, hits the ball to the right-hand side, right in front of Austin Todd on one bounce. So Myers records his second hit of the game. That's going to bring up the catcher number 11, Lane Borland. The Myers is now 2 for 3 for the ball game, batting 667. Oh, there's a foul ball right at my window here. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. And there between innings, the home plate umpire, Doug McClure, I was just standing up stretching. He tipped his hat up to me and acknowledged me, and I waved back at him. That's one thing about doing this NBC World Series. I've gotten to know a lot of umpires and made a lot of friends on the umpire cruise. That bunt laid down, the sacrifice by Borland. So it's kind of good to see some of these guys out here are working hard. Borland lays down a sacrifice bunt, and Myers hits to second base. Once again, I've been doing this now for 23 years, and some of these umpires have been here about that long, or some of them have not, but I've gotten to know a lot of people. All right, 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. With that sacrifice, ball hit to the second baseman. That's Bossler. And the runner advances to third base. Myers goes to third on the hit to the second baseman, Hank Lefort. Lefort goes to Young for out number 2. That brings up the right fielder, number 7, Brett Fear. And here comes head coach Bill Pintard for the Santa Barbara Forsters. I was saying about how I got to know a lot of these umpires. Well, the same thing with the coaching staff. Bill Pintard has become a friend of mine, and so have a lot of these coaches that have been here for a while. And we're going to have a pitching change. Sounds like Lawson will be coming in. Will be number 12, Tanner Lawson. His hometown is Spring, Texas. He's a 6'1", 190 pounders. He's a junior at St. Edward's College. So now change in pitchers is the Santa Barbara Forsters. And we'll see about the numbers there on Eisler. So far right now, it's showing that Eisler pitched 1 2/3 innings, faced 9 batters, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, and had 1 strikeout. So what's going coming in will be number 12 for the Santa Barbara Forsters, Tanner Lawson. And he'll be having a man at third base. That's Tyler Myers, who got on with a base hit, was sacrificed over by Borland, and then went to third base on the 4-3 play from Lefort to Young. So it'll be a man on third base with 2 outs. Lawson, a left-hander. So now batting once again, the right fielder, number 7, Brett Fear. Fear so far is 0 for 3. Has a strikeout. Looking for his first hit of this ball game and of the series. Be a good time to do it with a man standing on third base. First pitch is the ball, low outside. So 1-0 the count now to Brett Fear. And the second pitch is fouled off the catcher's shin guards, it looks like. So the count goes to 1-1 strike. Home plate umpire Doug McClure goes out to talk to the pitcher to make sure that catcher's okay. And the count goes to 1-1 strike. Runner at third base and 2 outs. Top half of the 7th inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. And a pitch swing and a miss there by Brett Fear. And the count goes. Well, the scoreboard operator has cleared the board. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is the end of the 7th, top half of the 7th inning. With the score, the Forsters 5 and the Twins 2. We'll be right back.
At the start of a lovely day, you say a word you can't unsay. Nice job, Mom, you just scarred your son. Now he thinks naughty words are fun. He's just 3 years old, now someday he'll be on parole. Don't be snitching. When your morning is hell, just go to Taco Bell.
When you've had a morning, let us make you an entire breakfast all wrapped up. The Breakfast Crunch Wrap, only at Taco Bell.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We have a pitching change now for the Derby Twins here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Coming in the pitch will be number 21, Matt Cooke. Matt Cooke is a right-handed pitcher. He's from hometown Collinsville, Illinois. He's a 6'3", 195-pounder. From Southeast Missouri. Sophomore out of Southeast Missouri. Once again now pitching Matt Cooke. I'll give you the numbers here on Leclerc here in a second. Leading off the bottom half of the 7th inning, the center fielder number 23, Joey Fisk. To know the count now to Fisk. All right, Leclerc went 1 2/3 innings. Faced 5 batters, had no hits, no runs, no earned runs, and no 1 base on balls. So that's the numbers on Leclerc as Matt Cooke comes in now in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Ball hit to the right-hand side. Tyler Myers goes to Colin Neville at first base for out number 1. That brings up the right fielder, number 8, Austin Todd, for the Forsters. Todd is 0 for 3 here in the ballgame. Flew out to the first baseman. Had a fielder's choice in the second. And then laid a bunt down and went 1-3 for put out in the fifth inning. All right, the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike as that pitch is way outside from Matt Cooke. Austin Todd, the batter, and there's a hit to the shortstop. Bossler goes to first. Neville for out number 2. That's going to bring up the second baseman, number 4, Hank Lefort. Lefort this game is 3 for 3 with 1 run scored, 1 RBI. So he's batting 1,000 here in the ball game and in the NBC World Series. Man could stop his career there and say you had some numbers. All right, pitch is outside. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike to Hank Lefort, second baseman for the Santa Barbara Forsters. Pitch is high and tight. So the count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Cooke's pitch is outside low. So the count goes 3-1 now. To Lefort. Cooke's pitch is outside, and Lefort's going to reach on with a walk. That is 4th time on. And the way Lefort runs, Matt Cooke better watch him close here at first base. Now batting, the first baseman, number 30, Josh Young. Hank Lefort's very aggressive on the bases. There's a hard hit ball by Young along the right-hand side. Is going to be in for extra bases. He's rounding, going to second base, coming in for as Lefort scoring, and a triple there by Josh Young, who records his first hit of the game and an RBI. So another run scores there for the Forsters here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And now takes the score to the Santa Barbara 6 and the Derby Twins 2. So officially, Young is 1 for 2 with 1 run scored and 1 RBI and 2 base on balls. That brings up Luke Ritter. Ritter fouls that one off. The count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Standing at third base is Josh Young, who had just scored, or just hit his first hit of the game. With that triple along the right field side. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Ritter. Matt Cooke comes in with the pitch and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So the Forsters score 1 run, and at the end of 7 is the Forsters 6 and the Twins 2. We'll be right back.
Starkey helps make Wichita a winning community.
Starkey provides jobs for people with disabilities.
Starkey reminds us that we have more in common than we know.
Starkey connects me to my community.
Starkey is one of the things that makes our community very, very fabulous. Right, Joe?
Right.
And we welcome you back to the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. Powered by Westar Energy. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. As we get ready for the 8th inning, here in the 8th inning, the score is the Santa Barbara, California Foresters 6 and the Derby Twins 2. Leading off top half the 8th inning for the Twins will be the center fielder, number 3, Noah Bland. A penalty call, strike 1 is the call against Noah Bland. As you know, we have a 90-second clock between innings and 20 seconds between pitches. Noah Bland was not in the batter's box with 5 seconds or more, and the horn sounded, so he got charged for a strike. 0-2 the count now to Noah Bland. Noah is 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Batting .333. There's a base hit there to center field by Noah Bland. So Bland reaches on. Brings up the designated hitter, number 12, Anthony Dominguez. Anthony is 0 for 2, but he has 2 RBIs as Bland got on base with a triple in the first inning. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes now. I have a runner at first base with no outs. There's a pitch outside by Tanner Lawson, left-handed pitcher for the Santa Barbara Foresters. 2-0 the count. And Dominguez looks to move the runner over. There's a swing and a miss there by Dominguez. And call strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. With no outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Almost 1:40 a.m. here in Wichita, Kansas. And it looks like the temperature still is at about 74 degrees. And here's the pitch. Call strike 3, and Dominguez knew it right away. Started walking towards home plate, or towards the dugout. And it brings up the first baseman, number 8, Colin Neville. Throw over to first base. And Noah Bland is back. So Neville ready to face Tanner Lawson. And a call strike 1 to Neville. Yes, we have a runner at first base with 1 out on that strikeout to Anthony Dominguez. Here's a hard hit ball along to right field side, and it's going to be fair, so it's going to be extra bases. Picking up the ball is Austin Todd, and a run scores there with that double from Colin Neville. That hit right down the line, and Bland was able to score from first base. So Neville records his second hit of the game and an RBI, and here comes head coach Bill Pintard. Come out Looks like he may be making another pitching change. So now takes the score to 6-3 in favor of the Santa Barbara Forsters over the Derby Twins. And we are going to have a pitching change here in the top half of the 8th inning.
Your attention now, pitching for Santa Barbara, number 26, Garrett Gale.
Looks like it's going to be Gale coming in for the Santa Barbara Forsters. Number 26, Garrett Gale, will be now coming in and pitching for the Santa Barbara Forsters. Gale is a right-hander from Cypress, California. He's 6'1", 200-pounder. He's a sophomore out of Rice University. Garrett Gale coming in. He is the fourth pitcher for the Santa Barbara Forsters. When he comes, gets started, there'll be a runner at second base as Neville just hit a double down the right field line and scored a run with an RBI. And we have one out here in the top half of the 8th inning. Almost 1:45 here in Wichita, Kansas. 1:45 a.m. that is. It is now Sunday, the 30th. Now batting the second baseman, number 13, Greg Sines. And there's a hard hit ball up the middle by the diving Hank Lefort. Another run scores. That is Colin Neville. Greg Sines in with a single. He records his second hit of the game and an RBI. So now takes the score to the Forsters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. Now batting is Bobby Morganson, left fielder, number 1. The very first pitch there by Gale was driven into center field. Good effort there by the second baseman, Hank Lefort, but got by his glove. And Neville was able to score from second base. And there goes Sines. It is safe at second base. Stolen base there by Greg Sines. Puts another runner in scoring position. Count is 1-1 with one out and a runner at second. Here in the top half of the 8th inning. There's a swing and a miss there by number 1, Bobby Morganson. Count goes 2-2 now to Morganson. Pitching Garrett Gale for the Santa Barbara Forsters. There's the pitch and a swing and a miss. Struck him out. Nice job there by Garrett Gale to challenge him. Get the second out of the inning. That brings up the third baseman, number 15, Tyler Myers. Myers so far is 2 for 3 in the ball game. He got a single in the second inning and had a single in the seventh inning to start off the seventh inning. There's a hard hit ball along the right-hand side. It's going to go foul. So the count goes to no balls and 1 strike. With the runner Greg Signs at second base and 2 outs here in the top half of the 8th inning. Derby getting right back into the ball game. There's a swing and a foul ball now to Tyler Myers. 0-2 the count now. Gale with the pitch and a foul ball along the right-hand side. Count stays no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the runner at second base. Good little ball game that we have here. We've had all our games here today have been real close and interesting. Like say, if you missed the first game, the Colorado Sox went 17 innings and the score was 3-0. California forced over the Colorado Sox 3-0 in 17 innings. And there's call strike 3 for out number 3. So at the end of a 7.5 innings of play, it is the Forsters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. We'll be right back.
Love live music, craft beer, local food, and the great urban outdoors? You'll find it all at the first ever Wichita Vortex Music Festival, August 4th and 5th. It's a concert and camping event right where the Arkansas and Little Arkansas meet, next to the Keeper of the Plains. Dwight Yoakam stars with Moreland and Arbuckle, Okie Lafarge, Cherokee Maidens, Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy, and more. Concert tickets can be purchased alone or with a campsite. Wake up Saturday to all-you-can-eat pancakes and Western swing. Tickets and details at WichitaVortexFest.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. And you're listening and watching the Derby Twins versus the Santa Barbara Forsters. The score is 6-4 in favor of the Forsters in the bottom half of the 8th inning. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Derby Twins. He's number 29, Matthew Dallas, a right-handed pitcher from Boise, Indiana. He's a 6-foot, 190-pounders. He's a graduate out of Minnesota, Cookston. So he's coming in to pitch in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So we'll see if we can get some numbers here for Cooke. Cooke went 1 inning. He faced 5 batters. Gave up 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, and had 1 base on balls and struck out 1. Now batting, the designated hitter number 7, Zach Humphreys. Ball hits to the right side. The right fielder, number 7, Brett Fear, makes the catch for out number 1. Once again, we welcome you back for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series. Now batting the third baseman, number 16, Spencer Steer. Once again, coming in the pitch was number 29, Matthew Dallas, for the Derby Twins here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Spencer Steers is batting .500. He's 1 for 2. There's a high hit ball to center field. Making the catch is number 3, Noah Bland, for the Derby Twins. And we have 2 quick outs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Galuski now batting for the Santa Barbara Forsters. Galuski is 1 for 3 here, batting .333. Has 1 run scored. Got a base hit in the second inning. Grounded out to shortstop in the 4th inning and flew out to center field in the 6th inning. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. Two 2-0 now the count to Galuski. As there's 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And there's ball 4. Now batting the catcher, number 11, Stephen Cole. Cole is 2 for 3, has scored 1 run, has 1 RBI, and is batting .667 for this series and this ball game. First pitch is outside. Count is 1-0 now to Stephen Cole. And here comes Dallas's pitch. High and tight. 2-0 now the count. Galuski on at first base with that walk. Yes, we have 2 out here in the bottom half of the 8th. It's called strike. So the count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. To Stephen Cole. And there's the runner taken off. Galuski goes to second base. It's going to be in with a stolen base, looks like. And the catcher, Borland, goes out to talk to his pitcher, Matthew Dallas. Might have had a little mix-up on the pitch there. And the runner took off and stole second base. So he gets in scoring position. And Stephen Coe's a dangerous guy to have out there batting, but there's a high fly ball in the infield. Looks like the shortstop gets under it. That's Connor Bossler, makes the catch for out number 3. That's the end of the 8th inning with the score of the Santa Barbara Foresters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. We'll be right back.
For every celebration, for every 6 a.m. wake-up call, for every heartache, for every homecoming, for every home, there is York. Environmentally responsible and technologically advanced to provide the optimal home environment while keeping you connected. Life by You. Comfort by York.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 83rd Annual NBC World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We're going to have a pitching change now for the Santa Barbara Foresters, as Sweet Caroline is being played in the background. Looks like coming in to pitch for the Foresters will be number 44, John McMillan. He's a 6'3", 250-pounder for a sophomore from Texas Tech. Coming in to pitch the top half of the ninth inning, as the Derby Twins are now down to their last 3 outs to try to get back in the ball game, being down 6-4 to the defending champions Santa Barbara Foresters. And facing McMillan will be number 11, catcher Lane Borland. It looks like we are going to have a pinch hitter for Derby. So it will not be Borland. Looks like it's going to be Cooper Minnick. Cooper Minnick is hometown Leon, Kansas, 5'11", 190 pounders, and he goes to West Texas A&M, a junior. So Minnick will come up, try to do a little damage here against the Foresters. First pitch is outside and ball 1. I want to know the count now. And foul ball, and a flying bat scatters the ball players from the Derby Twins. So the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, up there pinch hitting, Cooper Minnick. Two balls, 3 and 1 now the count. The one thing that McMillan does not want to do is get the guy on base, but there's a foul ball. Minnick trying to get something to happen here for the Derby Twins as they're down to their last 3 outs. And we have a full count now. A hard hit ball to center field. Right fielder makes the catch. That's Austin Todd, called off Joey Fisk for out number 1. That brings up the shortstop, number 4, Connor Bossler. Bossler this game is 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the ball game. Flew out to center field in the 3rd inning. Grounded out to the first pitcher. Went to first base and then had a 4-3 in the 7th inning. He just flew out to third baseman for out number 2. So now batting for the Derby Twins, their last out of the ball game coming up, has the last chance here for the Derby Twins is right fielder number 7, Brett Fear. Count goes to 2-0 now to Fear. call strike one. 3 balls, 1 strike now, with 2 outs here in the top half of the 9th inning. And there's a foul ball off the right leg of Brett Fear. Full count now, 3-2. Going to have a lot of action tomorrow evening, or starting tomorrow morning actually, at 11 o'clock, just in a couple hours. Got to be back to announce the 11 o'clock game and the 1:30 game. And I'll be back on the air here at 4 o'clock to do the play-by-play for the 4 o'clock game. There's a foul ball. We start at 11 o'clock tomorrow. It'll be the San Antonio, Texas Angels versus the Hayes, Kansas Larks. At 1:30, we'll have the Mulvane, Kansas Patriots, who were the winners in the first week, and they'll be facing the San Diego, California Waves. There's a ball hit to the shortstop, goes to first, and is safe at first base. Then a 4 o'clock game, the winners of the first week in their pool of the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs. They'll be facing the Seattle, Washington Studs at 4 o'clock. And then the 7 o'clock game will be the Wellington, Kansas Heat versus the USA national team. That's our games for tomorrow. So once again, Fear gets on. And now batting, the hot hand here for Derby, the center fielder number 3, Noah Bland, who has 2 hits. He's 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored. He hit a deep fly ball over the left fielder's head in the 6th inning that was called an error on the left fielder. Misplayed it terribly as he came in and slipped, and then the ball went over his head. So the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes here for Noah Bland. Looks like he might have broken back because he's going back to the dugout. He's going to try to get another bat. So Bland grabs another bat. He gets back out to the batter's box. Once again, we have 2 outs with 1 runner on base here in the top half of the 9th inning. The score, the Santa Barbara Foresters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. Derby down to their last out here. Bland trying to keep her alive. And a pitch high. Count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Noah Bland. Once again, Bland is batting .500 here for the ball game. And here's a pitch. It's slow. The ball gets away from the catcher. That's Stephen Coe. And advancing to second base will be Brett Fear. So the count is full now, 3-2, with the runner at second base. And there's a ball hit to the right-hand side, goes foul. Noah Bland. And McMillan trying to save the victory here for the Santa Barbara, California Foresters, the defending champions of the 2016 NBC World Series. And here's the pitch. Foul ball. Nice job there by Noah Bland, making contact and staying able to keep the bat in his hand here and keep the Derby Twins in the ball game. Once again, they're down to their last out. And here comes McMillan's pitch. And a ball hit to the shortstop, goes back. That's Jimmy Gillespie, goes to first for out number 3. And that is the ball game with the final score. The Santa Barbara, California Foresters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the telecast. Once again, tomorrow's action starts at 11 a.m. as the San Antonio, Texas Angels will face the Hayes, Kansas Larks. 1:30, it'll be the Mulvane, Kansas Patriots versus the San Diego, California Waves. I'll be back on the air tomorrow at 4 o'clock as the Cheney, Kansas Diamond Dogs will be taking on the Seattle, Washington Studs. And then our 7 o'clock game tomorrow will be the Wellington, Kansas Heat versus the USA national team. Once again, on behalf of our staff and management here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium and head coach and the tournament director Kevin Jinks, this is Frank Martinez, the voice of the NBC World Series. Wish you a good evening and hope you have a great night. What you have left of it, the final score: Santa Barbara Foresters 6 and the Derby Twins 4. Good evening.